Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Cold Waters. In the last episode, we managed to go ahead and earn ourselves 2 medals. First, a Bronze Star for defeating an enemy amphibious invasion force, and then the Naval Commendation Medal for basically doing good on multiple missions in the row, including our last mission of sinking another enemy wolf pack of submarines. And in this mission here, our most recent orders are to destroy an enemy surface group coming from Russia to reinforce Chinese forces in the area. We went ahead and sailed up into the Sea of Japan to intercept these forces before they could go ahead and do their objective, we believe, of transiting to the Spratly Islands and trying to help the Chinese invade those. I believe we've run into the force here. I'll close the 20,000 yards. All hands battle stations, get in here. And of course, the first thing, like always, we'll always do is slow down to 0 knots and go ahead and start picking up things on sonar. And first thing we're going to do is try to identify what this is. My guess is it's an enemy escort vessel of some kind. Not quite sure which one. It actually looks like it's a Utaloy. So I'll go ahead and put that in. And I'm going to go ahead and dogleg this torpedo. So we'll just fire it straight.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 045, designated Sierra 2.
And we'll immediately move the torpedo up to over here. We can see we do actually have a second vessel here also, which we just lost contact with.
Last bearing 037.
But I don't want to turn yet because we may break the wire. And I'm going to go ahead and do active search, which should help us steer through these decoys. Torpedoes acquired the Utaloy. You can see the torpedo off the left here. He did fire another decoy. We're going to go ahead and guide the torpedo in. Torpedoes reacquired and impact. And that is an enemy Utaloy down. But now we're going to go ahead, set course towards Sierra 2, set knots to 5, so we'll make that turn. Be able to better get a read on whatever vessels are coming to come after us next. Then once we made the turn, we'll slow down all the way.
Make turns for 0 knots, maneuvering eye.
Don't know if that's an enemy sub or an enemy surface contact. Enemy aircraft. Yep, we do have a helicopter to worry about, which is not great. But we do see we have something shooting sonar at us, so we're going to go ahead and fire a torpedo off in that direction. Anything with a sonar that's trying to ping us is going to be an enemy warship. Civilian vessels do not have sonar on them. Or if they do, it's generally kind of side scan radar or survey radar, which can sometimes be used with basically pull behind torpedo-shaped objects, actually, funnily enough, that they will drag behind the ship to do large scans of the seabed. But we can see we've gone ahead and acquired Sierra 3, which is another Russian ship, the Kara, our Kara-class ship. You can see torpedo tracking and impact. So that's our second Russian ship sunk. We'll go ahead and once again reload torpedoes as the Kara goes to the bottom. We've regained contact on Sierra 2. Let's see if we can figure out what this is. It looks like a Silver Mini, so I'll go ahead and shoot another torpedo out at it. A Silver Mini is actually so large it may take 2 torpedoes, I can't remember. It has been a while. But we'll fire a torpedo off in that direction, see if we can't hit it. And weapons acquired something. I think it's acquired the Silver Mini. We'll set it to active.
Fire control, weapon acquired. Sonar, noisemaker.
Yep, it sure has. And we've made it past the decoys now. torpedo on terminal haze,
Con
and
sonar,
impact,
noisemaker
and
bearing
that's another
0,
ship sunk.
3, 0.
We'll go ahead once again and reload torpedo.
Con, torpedo room 2-1 ready.
And with that, oh, we have aircraft nearby. Not sure where exactly it is in relation to us, but I'll go ahead, drop us down to probably about 1,000 feet, get us going at 10 knots.
Make turns for 1, 0.
Set a course
knots.
for
Maneuvering
north.
aye. Come left to 0, 0, 2. Helm aye.
And we will get out of here.
Con, maneuvering. Making turns for 1, 0 knots.
Looks like an enemy torpedo was sent down, probably by the helicopter.
1, 0, 0, 0 feet, dive by.
It probably thinks we're somewhere near, but not quite near enough. Eventually that torpedo will explode just like that. But we're going to keep on going. Go ahead and escape on out of here. Set speed up to 15 knots.
1, 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Hopefully get away from this helicopter, which we have, and we will now leave combat. And we sunk all the enemy ships. Excellent job, Commander. Your neutralization of this high-priority target will severely reduce the enemy's ability to hinder trans-Pacific convoys. Once again, another message we received. Again, another convoy article here, and we'll move on. Intelligence indicates enemy plans for another amphibious landing at the Spratly Islands. So we'll go ahead, get out of the strait here. Unfortunately, be seen by an enemy recon flight. Those red planes are enemy recon flights. Every time one flies over us, it means it's going to spot us for enemy forces. And all the enemy task force on anti-submarine warfare are basically going to come after us at that point. So you want to run away from those, basically not be seen. We do have another amphibious landing. This time, it was coming from Ning Bao, which means it's probably actually this group right here. We're gonna sit just here outside of Scarborough Shoal. Hopefully, oh, we've been spotted, meaning all those anti-sub warfare patrols are gonna come after us. Once again, I think they probably spotted us again. Hopefully, oh, we run into something. I'm not sure what it is. We'll close to 20,000 yards though.
Con, sonar.
Make turns for
Make
back
turns
emergency
for
down to
0.
0 knots.
Make turns for 0 knots. Maneuvering aye.
And my guess
Con,
is
sonar, new
that
contact
we've hit
bearing
the enemy
3,
amphibious
4,
invasion first
designated
again.
Sierra 6.
I'll immediately fire off 2 torpedoes at Sierras 1 and 2,
2-2. Aye, sir.
because
Con,
those are enemy
sonar, new
escort
contact
vessels,
bearing 0,
and
1,
I want them
5,
dead.
Designated Sierra 7.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Con,
Yep,
sonar.
both
Sierra
Django
2
3s.
is classified as escort.
Con, fire control.
Con, sonar. Noisemaker bearing 3, 1, 0.
And impact with Sierra 2.
Con, sonar. Noisemaker bearing 3,
Sunk.
0.
Impact with Sierra 1 was simultaneous. So that's 2 sunk Japanese escort vessels. Both Django 3s. Let's take a look at enemy air. Just an enemy plane. Planes are generally actually not as dangerous as helicopters are. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, set course for north.
Come left to.
Set knots to 5, so we'll actually turn.
5 knots.
We can see we have another
Con,
Chengdu
torpedo
out
room
there,
2-1 ready.
which once I'm turned
Con,
will be
torpedo
good
room
to
2-2
eliminate.
ready.
Con, helm. Steady course.
Steady course,
Make turns.
0 knots,
Make turns for.
and we can see
0
we have
knots.
2 more
Maneuvering
escort
aye.
vessels closing in,
Shoot
which
2-1.
we'll go ahead and
Aye, sir.
fire 2 torpedoes for,
2-2. Aye, sir.
to take out the Chengdu, and then whatever Sierra 6 is, which we'll probably identify as it gets closer.
Con, fire
Con sonar.
It's a Luda.
06 is classified
But we'll
as
go ahead and
escort.
set torpedo to active. Chase after the Luda.
Con
Set
sonar.
torpedo
Noisemaker
2 to
bearing
active
3,
once the
4,
enemy vessel knows it's
0.
being chased, which we will now.
Con sonar. Noisemaker bearing 3,
And
4,
take
3.
torpedo
Con
1 and
con
steer it
sonar.
back into the
Noisemaker
Luda.
bearing 0, 1, 9.
Torpedo's gonna terminal home.
Con sonar.
And
Noisemaker
impact.
bearing 3, 4, 1.
Nope. The last noisemaker actually managed to
Con
save the
sonar
ship.
lost contact. Sierra 7. Last bearing 0, 1, 8. Contact breaking
We
up.
did manage to sink the Chengdu though, and we'll reload tube 2 with another torpedo. The Ludo, however, I think has finally run out of chances.
Con sonar
Indeed it
lost
has,
contact.
and it is now
Sierra
sunk.
6. Last bearing 3, 3, 4.
With that,
Contact
looks like
breaking
we
up.
have 3 enemy merchant vessels, so actually what I'm going to do is reload this first tube with a missile. I don't think we can fire these that deep. We have to be below 200 feet,
Tube 2 ready.
so we'll set depth to 150.
Make depth 150 feet. Dive by. Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
That way we'll be able to fire these missiles at the ships. And now that we're above 200, we'll fire, first going after the Yuting
Shoot tube 1.
on the
Aye,
left,
sir.
the second on the right,
Shoot
and
tube
the last
7.
one
Aye, sir.
on the Kwangsha.
Shoot tube 8.
We'll go ahead and
Aye,
reload a torpedo, and then more anti-ship missiles. And all the missiles are going to fly out. The plane is going to see the spot where that came from, but there's not much the plane can do about it. The missiles will fly and track, try and shoot the missile down,
Sonar lost
but
contact.
fail.
Sierra 5. Last bearing 3, 3, 5.
And you can see the
Contact
missile
breaking
coming
up.
in, and
Con
impact.
sonar lost contact.
And
Sierra
Kwangsha
3. Last
sunk.
bearing 3, 4, 4. Contact
With
breaking
that,
up.
I believe we've repulsed this amphibious landing. We'll make sure to go ahead
Con, torpedo room,
and reload
tube 7 ready.
torpedoes, but that should be that.
Con, torpedo room,
Leave
2.
combat, and you can see we didn't indeed sink everything. And it's probably around time for us to go ahead and head back home to resupply with only 7 torpedoes left. Great job! Pleased to hear the expected invasion of the Spratly Islands has been repelled. And with that defense, we've now received a Silver Star Medal for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action against the enemies of the United States of America on the 14th of September 2000. Commander Adam Wilkinson's expiring initiative and unwavering devotion reflect great credit upon himself and uphold the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. So we've now gotten up to the Silver Star. And we can see we once again defended the South China Sea. This time, enemy at sea replenishment tankers and tenders set sail from Shantou momentarily towards somewhere in the Yellow Sea. The Yellow Sea is all the way up here, and if they're setting sail from Shantou, they'll just follow the Taiwan Strait up to the Yellow Sea. This is actually perhaps my least favorite objective in the whole game. Anytime you have to go after an objective in those shallows in the East China Sea or the Yellow Sea, things can get very messy. You don't have the ability to do basically what I've already been doing of diving deep to avoid enemy torpedoes. You just need to avoid them entirely. But anyway, that's to worry about in a moment. We've arrived back home. You and your XO proudly send the rest of the crew ashore for some days of rest after your outstanding mission performance. The Admiral's office then invites you for a personal debrief and a toast. So you can see we've now spent about 12 days at war with 6 missions accomplished, 14 warships sunk, 9 submarines sunk, 8 merchant ships sunk, for a total of 31 ships sunk. Our tonnage, other warship tonnage, roughly 50,000. Submarine tonnage is roughly 26. Merchant is roughly 30, bringing our total tonnage to to 105,190 tons. We've also earned the Bronze Star, the Silver Star, and the Naval Commendation Medal. But anyways, we'll go ahead and rearm and repair. I'll go ahead and take 3 more missiles and once again fill the rest of the bay with torpedoes. After 11 hours in port, after spending looks like 4 days in port, we'll go ahead and cast off from Guam see if we can't find those replenishment tankers. Normally they're up here in this corner in the yellow sea up here, not very far from Seoul. Actually this is probably the group right here going up to there. Once again, yep, in fact there they are right there. Once again though, the issue with this is, as always, this really shallow sea. But anyways, we're going to actually start from 25,000 yards this time. And I'm immediately going to speed down to 0 because we only have probably, looks like 300 feet of water to work with here. I'll once again, oop, wrong button, speed it up. I'm immediately going to need the dogleg torpedoes.
Aye, sir.
I cannot afford to have us be detected. We actually can't see us. It's actually much harder to see here on submarine with all the actual coral beds now. But what we're actually going to do, any enemy aircraft, we do have an enemy helicopter. But I do want to go ahead, and bring our depth up to 50 feet so we can put mast up.
0 feet, dive high.
Con sonar regain. Con sonar torpedo.
And of course, as soon as that happens,
bearing. Con sonar new contact bearing 0.
we get torpedoes.
1, 4,
we'll fire a Moss.
0, 5.
Never mind.
Con sonar
We'll
new
have
contact
to
bearing,
go
0,
ahead.
6, 7,
Really, the only thing we can do
6.
here is hit the bottom.
100 feet. Con, torpedo room,
Go ahead
25
and
ready.
hit the decoy.
Passing 200 feet.
And once again, I think they should both go for the Moss now.
Con, less than 50 feet below the keel.
I know, we're just gonna have to put her on the bottom though.
Passing 300 feet.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is classified as escort.
Once again, unfortunately, we can no longer speed up time.
Con sonar torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 0, 4, 7.
Trying to launch the next decoy.
Passing 300 feet.
We should be able to go above this torpedo now. We just skimmed above both of them. We'll once again send out another Moss. If we can.
Shoot 25.
And we sure can. That's gonna go behind. This one we want to go.
6. Aye, sir.
Oh, I guess that one's going also front. And we want to stop before we surface. We do want to send out another torpedo at the Chengdu.
Aye, sir.
Con, torpedo room, tube 5
We'll
ready.
go ahead and do a decoy.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 6, bearing 0, 7, 3.
And the second torpedo's been dealt with. Thank goodness. We are pretty much out of Moss, but we will go ahead and reload torpedoes. We also do have our torpedo ranging on the Chengdu now.
5, bearing 0, 1.
Go ahead and turn it to active right before it impacts.
Con sonar
We'll
lost
guide it in
contact.
anyways,
Sierra
and that
1,
is a
5,
Chengdu
bearing
sunk.
3, 4, 5.
We do
Contact
also
breaking.
have the helicopter still after us. Looks like the Janeway is way up there.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Torpedo 1 ran out of fuel. We'll
Shoot
go ahead
2.
and fire
Aye, sir.
off anyways. Fortunately, with this helicopter around, there's not really a whole lot we can do.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
But I'm gonna fire off 2 more
Shoot 2, 1.
torpedoes
Aye, sir.
anyways, cause
Con fire control, we've lost the
crap.
wire.
Sometimes when you fire off torpedoes like that, you do have a risk of just immediately severing the wire, which happened in that case. Hopefully that torpedo will be of use to us. Will it actually? Who knows?
Tube 3 ready.
But we'll go ahead and move forward anyways with torpedo 2 streaking towards the Janeway.
Con sonar,
Set it to
noisemaker
active.
bearing 031. Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 032.
We can see we also went ahead and impacted another ship.
Con sonar,
This time it was a Silver
02
Mini.
is classified as escort.
While Tube 2 continues after the Janeway.
Con
And
sonar,
impact.
lost
That's another
contact.
escort vessel
03,
sunk.
Last bearing 034. Contact breaking up.
I think Sierra 4 is probably going to be our merchant ship.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
It certainly sounds like it. Let's go ahead and see if we can identify it.
Con sonar, Sierra 4
A
is
few
classified as merchant.
Ching is probably right. This looks like a replenishment vessel, so this is probably
Con, torpedo
what we're
room,
after.
tube 2.
Con sonar, Sierra 6 is classified
Sierra
as
5.
merchant.
Sierra 6 has been identified way off to our right. Sierra 5, I'll try to identify while we have a torpedo after the replenishment vessel. Oh, looks like it might just be
Con
another
sonar,
merchant.
Sierra 5 is classified as merchant.
It looks like our torpedo's picked up on it. We'll have it active home in. Yep, and impact.
Con sonar lost contact.
And that is the
Sierra
enemy
4,
replenishment
last
vessel
bearing
taken care of.
000. Contact breaking
We'll
up.
reload Tube 3
Con, torpedo room,
as the
tube
enemy
3
merchant
ready.
vessel not enemy, but just a merchant vessel continues to close. We do have an aircraft nearby still. Off the lower depth to 200.
Make depth 200 feet, dive
Where's
by.
the enemy helicopter? Just around, so I'm actually going to go ahead and set course directly to the south, or slightly southeast.
Come right to.
Set knots to
Make
5,
turn
and let's
5
go ahead
knots.
and
Maneuvering
begin
on.
transiting out of
Con
here.
sonar lost contact.
Con, dive at 200 feet, dive by.
Basically, I'll have to check periodically after we turn because 5 knots is not fast, but it's really the only way to keep us quiet. I'm going to rig
Rig
for
shift
silent
ultra
running
quiet.
too, or ultra quiet. And just see, I'm actually going to up it to 10
Make
knots.
turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
So we hear the helicopter pass over us. See if we can leave. Not quite. Aircraft still nearby. And unfortunately now it's just going to be a waiting game of how long will it take us to get away from the enemy helicopter, because we're in such shallows we cannot go any deeper. If we up our speed at this depth, we risk cavitation, which is essentially bubbles forming on the propeller, which makes us very, very easy to detect. But let's go ahead and check now. Nope, aircraft still nearby. We'll go ahead and wait. Interestingly enough, from what I understand of cavitation, that's actually not the basically the propeller is going so fast that it's creating pockets of vacuum. As far as I understood it, essentially what it is that when you go under greater depth, the boiling point of water, temperature of water reduces. So what that cavitation at depth actually is the propeller is moving so fast that it heats the water to where it actually boils, and then will cool back down in the water above it, which I think is something that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and check again. We're finally far enough away, and we will leave combat with us sinking the entire enemy force. Good job to hear you intercepted and destroyed enemy replenishment resources. Keep up the good work. Further orders to be transmitted on this downlink. Stand by for new orders. We've been awarded the Distinguished Service Medal. Except for exceptionally meritorious service as Commanding Officer USS Seawolf SSN-21. Adam Wilkinson's steadfast devotion and superior tactical decisions have consistently brought success to his unit in action. His conduct reflects great credit upon him. This command is in keeping with the high traditions of the United States Naval Service. So we've now got the Distinguished Service Medal. Navy moves in. U.S. warships and submarines have taken up several new strategic positions, including some around the Yellow Sea, in response to significantly reduced Chinese naval activity. Sources close to the Pentagon say the war is taking a heavy toll on enemy naval operations and that their supply lines continue to be heavily strained. Recent NATO gains at sea have decreased the numbers of warships needed to maintain control in several regions. Many vessels from these regions have rapidly been reassigned to other duties within the region. Hit continue. And we can see intelligence indicates the Russians are increasing their support for PRC by sending surface units to reinforce the Chinese. Recent recon flights indicate surface group. It will likely center around one high-value unit, believed to be a Kiev-class aviation cruiser, and it's likely this group is accompanied by a fleet oiler. Intelligence believes this group will transit to the Sea of Japan and deploy to Ningbo Naval Base. Your orders are to intercept and sink the cruiser and oiler. We'll hit continue, and I'll go ahead and pause it, because I think for today that's where we're going to go ahead and stop. Very interesting objective to do next. The Kiev-class aviation cruiser is a cruiser-sized vessel, but was a helicopter carrier, essentially. We'll worry about that next time. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please make sure you hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. Make sure you click that bell down below when you want to be notified when the next video releases. Also, make sure you leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.